like I say, it gets down to basically things like where Abraham Lincoln had this bill of of how his state was run, and he was a diplomat of his country, which meant that women within 50 feet of him must accept his coin for their end. Yes, Abraham Lincoln had this bill of written. It was a badly written document saying that women within 50 feet of him or 10 feet of him must submit their rear end for payment of $1. So he would go like and put the coin down on the table. But what if she didn't want to rear it and he only had $2? When they found him, they were like, he only had $2 on him. So how was it he had so many women anyway? Abraham Lincoln only had $2 on him. But he would slap it down on the table and say, now, give us your rear end to these women. And according to Abraham Lincoln's laws, that basically upon receiving or upon seeing a dollar, a said woman must submit her rear end to this man. Now, of course, that's not my law. I would never do anything so silly or ridiculous. Anyway, though, and he was running around with two of his sons or something like that. I don't really know the exact details. And actually, I had a national, like I said, I had up to $16 on Abraham Lincoln's head. I wanted him dead because he was going around submitting, and he had some sort of STD or disease or something like that that was very bad. So he had picked it up somewhere. Anyway, so I was trying to, so he was infecting all these women and stuff like that. I mean, there was all kinds of bad stuff happening in the past where you had men submitting $1 for payment of woman's rear end. It's just a coin. It's nice to look at, but it's nothing to lose your underwear over. Anyway, so there was all that stuff going around. And he had a badly written piece of paper in his pocket. And he would have this paper folded up. He'd have it inside his jacket. And upon seeing Abraham Lincoln's law. Anyway, it's only as much as you can actually force some poor woman to give up her underwear. So anyway, this is what was happening back in the day. And so basically my troops went in there and found him kicking and screaming and dragged him out. And I think maybe hung him or something like that. And there was a couple of Abraham Lincolns running around, basically. And it basically just became this funny story about this one guy who wasn't really president or leader of America, nor of anything really, other than maybe a state somewhere that might be within my borders. May or may not have been within my borders. And basically, my troops found him and hung him, or killed him, basically, shot him. Anyway, with one of my guns. So, anyway, and I never did like that particular gun. You know, you wind it up and go, you know, but it was a pretty gun, and it was kind of cool. But, I mean, there are much better guns than that. You know, like I said, the blasting caps. I was the one who came up. We were the ones who came up with the blasting caps and everything else like that. So, and they wouldn't get wet either. My guns were very much waterproof. You know, I mean, my bullets were waterproof. You could take them underwater, you could take them anywhere, and they had a wax seal or something like that that kept the gunpowder from ever getting wet. So, even in rain, you could go. Anyway, and they worked very well. So well, in fact, that many people, like, you know, my guns were the best. The Star guns. Well, but where were Star guns made? Well, Birmingham, a few different places, Germany, of course, and a few different places. Also, some places in China, probably somewhere else, and of course, America. Anyway, anyway, yeah. I loved who I was, and anyway, and there's, you know, and I had a lot of money, so I had more than most people. I had more than the Queen of England. So anyway, and we always paid in gold or silver. So anyway, and I really wanted to get my American. You know, it's amazing. You wouldn't even believe how hard it was to get coins with the word America on them. It was actually really hard, but eventually we got them. So, and then we put them out there for distribution and all that other stuff. And it has to do with my steam mining equipment and everything else like that. And like I say, with everything that was White Star line stuff, or Lucifer White Star line, this began as nothing more than the planets going around the sun over and over and over again, building up energy and creating this into solid matter. And that's how Lucifer White Star has so much matter for guns and everything else. And for so long. And very much independent matter of everyone else. So, because like I said, I could build a planet and a solar system and a star system almost anywhere to have minerals. Like I said, it's funny, it's cool to think that this actually began life as nothing more than the planets going around the sun billions or trillions of years ago. Many people believe that this was always a coin or always something metallic. It's like, no, this was actually just the Earth or the planets going around the sun that became solid. Energy can be created and destroyed, and, well, it changes form, but all this is just kinetic energy in solid mass. That's all it is. Nothing more than that. Coin today, energy tomorrow, and back and forth. So, anyway, many people don't realize that, well, I mean, particles are much harder to destroy, but these particles are created by the stars and by the planets. And eventually they become this. It takes about 1 billion years. Or a couple million years, a trillion years or so. But this and all its little friends began as nothing more than us going around the sun. So, anyway, and I did that. And we did it 800 more times. So, anyway, kind of cool when you think about it. Nothing more than kinetic energy. That's all you see here. So, this was nothing more than space 100 trillion years ago, in many different ways, or just the Earth's rotation. And now it's a coin. So anyway, you guys can go wonder about that and think about that and go, ooh, ah. It's like, yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it? Anyway, but that's what I did. That's what Lusifer Star was doing millions or trillions of years ago, is creating stars and going through space in my LSF-A ship. Anyway, whatever.